Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Joey Sparks. That's two E's, no Y. You heard me. That's two E's, no Y. And in this video, we're going to be saying happy birthday to hip hop. That's 50 years for the culture. That culture and that music, right? So I'd like to celebrate. So if you're ready to discuss 50 years of hip hop, then let me know. But before we get started, first I gotta play my intro. Coffee sip, yeah. Let's go. Okay. First things first. Do me a swell. Will you like and comment on the content for me? When you do that, YouTube puts the video higher in the algorithm. That lets more eyes get to see my videos, and I'll appreciate you a whole bunch. And if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I'm a music videographer by trade, so I take that POV into all the videos I do here on the channel. So I do reactions, reviews, and unboxings. Today we're going to review hip hop as a music and culture, 50 years of it, okay? So please hit the sub button, join the ride. We have a good time. Otherwise, no further ado, let's get into it. First things first, I want to ask you, how did you get into hip hop? Like, what was it that first attracted you to hip hop? Maybe it was a song, maybe it was a party you went to. Let me know that in the comments. That's probably the number one comment I want to see, which is like, like, what was it? Now, I'm an old head. I was born in the late 1900s myself. So maybe there's somebody watching who's even young enough to not remember any of that stuff, and only the 2000s and beyond, right? But hip hop started August 11th, right? I think today is the 13th. I'm a little late, but and I think it was 1973. DJ Kool Herc, cool with a K, dog. That's how we do it, right? Just being different. There's this like classic, iconic note card, right? An index card that had an invitation written on it, and man, I think they was rocking from like 9 to like 4 a.m. So 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. That's how we was getting down. That's how we doing it. We partying just like that. And so DJ Kool Herc would mix the records, this new way, this new style of music, and then that's where, who the culture I most identify with was birthed. I didn't get into it till much later, but understanding its origins was like super important to me. And then that spawned, that was like the music for a party, right? And then you're just going to go and you're going to party and you're going to hear good music, because you probably didn't, and this was, you probably didn't have the money to go to the club or the disco at the time, and listen to disco music. And so they were getting kind of tired and played with that. So they were like, let's come up with something new. Now, fast forward to me, late 1900s and 70s, right? So I'm growing up in the 80s when it starts to catch steam and starts to go a little bit national, right? And, I was super, super young, and like I was growing up in the 80s, and it was all, I said this on another video, and then I realized I should make a separate video about it for this, which is like, I grew up in a metal band era, right? It was hair metal bands that was only on TV, right? And I didn't have hair like that, I didn't look like that, I had a complexion like that, and so like Michael Jackson was maybe like the most relatable musician I could see on the screen or MTV at the time for me, being in the middle of the map, So I saw a couple things. One, Run DMC. This sometime whatever in the 80s, late 80s, mid 80s. I can't remember. It was here, right here. Y'all remember this? Walk This Way. It was featured with Aerosmith. Of course, that's going to get play on MTV right at the time. And that's how it's starting to whittle its way in, right? So I got a chance to see this. And Run DMC were wearing clothes that I knew I had in the closet. I had a black jean jacket. I had a black pair of jeans. Like those were staples to have. And I saw them doing it. And they don't show them in this picture, but man, they would have the gold ropes on it, so they would like jazz it up with these hats, these like fedora hats, man. And so I'm like, this is tight. So I went to private school up until I want to say fourth grade. Fourth grade, I went to public school, and when I said I'm going to public school, I'm dressing just like this. This is what I imagine how I'm gonna be in school. Like this is who's gonna be me. Around this time, my oldest sister, I'm one of six. Okay, so my oldest sister, she was listening to music, right? And she turned me on to this bop that turned me on to hip hop even more. Boom. Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. It takes two. It takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to make it out of sight. Come on. When I count to three, 1, 2, 3, get loose now. It takes two to make it. It takes two to make it. It takes two to make it. It takes two. It makes two to make it. Oh, bruh. My oldest sister Marley Marsh, she put me on to this, and just hearing it. And then, of course, I eventually got to see the video and stuff like that. But at the time, we only had MTV. I don't know when I got to see this video on what channel, or like maybe did because I didn't get BET until later. And so then I just kind of realized, like, okay, this is kind of how I roll, right? Like the dancing, break dancing. You don't think I wasn't here with all that too? Like music, like for me in that way, kind of defined like who I was. I ain't had nobody else to like relate to. And here was another thing too. It was like, how else? I'm a black American. That's how I look at myself. I just use the term black American. It ain't offensive to me when people call me black. Now, if you add an adjective to it, it might get offensive. But if you just call me a black American, I'm cool with that. That's what I guess if you had to put some label or identifying on, right? And part of the black American experience here is, you know, rough. And let's say the history, to be specific. And at the time, I didn't have any examples of how someone could be successful by being creative. But I mean, I'm one of six kids. You don't think we wasn't creative? Like when my dad had like a birthday or something, we would put on records that he would like and do like dance routines to him. Get dressed up like what we thought they wore in the 50s or 60s or something like that by digging in their closet. Disrespectful. And so like I didn't know like how else to be, like how to take that funness that I used to have with my friend and like live a life. Otherwise it was like go get a job at a factory, right? Or study hard and be like a lawyer or a doctor, but just lock it in and just be that. And that didn't seem like it just spoke to me. And so I fought it long and hard for a long time. Pause. Woo. Long and hard is crazy. Pause that up in the chats. So to me, when I saw this music form coming out of like people that I identify with, and it being like the new hip stuff, like if you know, you know, like yo, if you know, you know. And I know there's been other music genres that have done that. over time that I wasn't a part of, but I'm sure they had that same feeling to maybe even some of y'all who aren't as connected to hip hop, but maybe connected to some other time, some other form of music, right? Um, so to me, this seemed like it might be a way we could be successful and and not have to do the conventional thing like express myself artistically. And so, I mean, fast forward to, like I watched hip hop go from, the smooth jazz, the New York stuff, with like the swingy, suit era, right? And then all of a sudden out of nowhere from the West Coast, the NWAs come out, right? Ice T's come out, right? Like I watched that happen. I'm your brother, I'm your daddy, I'm that in the alley. I'm your brother, who you need. And then I watched the East Coast kind of bring it back with some grunge, which was one of my favorite groups, was just Wu Tang. I loved watching that transform, that unpolished East Coast sound. Then evolve into, Biggie flows, right? And then Jay-Z flows and stuff like that. But then I even watched the South start to incorporate when Little John came and took over and brought everybody down south. Not that people wasn't already listening to down south, because you had 8 Ball and MJG, Scarface. I mean, you just had Staples, Outkast. When I got my first driver's license, I was riding to Outkast, Southern Playalistic, Cadillac Funky Music. Stop playing with me. This is who I was identified with, these people. And that's, I mean, watching it then become, like a leader in like a lot of the music categories and stuff like that for awards at these, popular award shows or whatever, but then turned into like a marketing tool and a super marketing force. Watched it copied and loved and redone and regurgitated over and over and over again. And like I said, and even like I'm not one of them bougie people who be like, yo, I don't listen to nothing past a certain time. Now I do a lot of my interests wean and kind of narrow after a certain era, yeah, definitely. But I give a lot of stuff a chance. And then you have kids, and then they start to show the music that they like, and it just brings me back to like, like I'm almost as old as 50, as hip hop is. So, like to see it, and then it parlay me into, like the career where I'm at now, where it's like, like the thing that got me started in film and video production was music videos. And what kind of music videos do you think the majority of those been? Rap and hip hop videos, right? And that's because that's what I seen. That's what I grew up with. And it's all because of this, like my brother was a rapper back in one point in time. Oh my God, I should show y'all that, but I won't. Maybe y'all ask me sometime, and I'll show you my brother. But man, so I started shooting videos for him on like little handy cams. And I set him up on stands so I could be in the video with him. So it's like I can't get over the fact that it's been 50 years, still prevalent today, and it's brought me so many of these memories and identifying moments. Like I still wear my hat backwards from time to time, just because that's who I was, and like like it identified so much. But it was all spawned from hip hop. Like the shoe culture stuff that I'm getting back into, all spawned from, like the fresh hip hop stuff that I saw. So I don't know. I feel like it's something that I just wanted to come on here and celebrate with y'all, if y'all wanted to listen and kind of hear some of my connections with it. I mean, I could get started on the concerts I seen for hip hop. Let me tell you. Wu-Tang, about 3 times. Jay-Z 3 times. Method Man, Redman, DMX, the Diddy family tour of the backstage concert, the Kanye, Rihanna. I mean, there's so many that I can't even count. The Clips, the 50 Cents, the key. There's so many that I have seen, and like now to a point that um, like I'm I'm working with people who are in music here locally who have connections to other artists, and now like I'm filming them and stuff like that. Like Tech Nine. There's an interview over on my boy Black Pegasus channel. Go check that out, or I'll leave it linked in the comments. Maybe I probably won't. I'm gonna try to remember to do that. And then, but he, like he's put me in these positions to interview with him. I just helped him revamp an interview for the Knox Hill interview that was released on his channel. Chris Webby for interviews. Like, there's been so many opportunities that hip hop has created for me, that on a big 50th birthday, like when you turn 50, don't you want people to appreciate you? Maybe kind of go over some of the memories with you? Well, that's what I'm doing here for me and my culture. So, man, I appreciate y'all stopping by. Please, in the comments, tell me about a memory, or like what caught your eye towards hip hop, or a great memory from hip hop, that or something that it's brought to you, that culture. And let me know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed any of this and you're not, hit the subscribe button. Please don't wait around, because we on our way to 25K, and we making a strong knit family, and we trying to be like, we trying to be our own lane. We there, and it's nice. We got love for so many people, and we want to showcase that over here. So hit the sub button, come around here, catch these good vibes, okay? And also, like I said, I'm a music videographer by trade, so I take that POV into the videos I do here, reactions, things like this, which is reviews, and also do unboxings here too. So hit the sub button, stick around, and I'll holla. All right, peace.